Um, okay, well, welcome to Rockin' Around the Tower Garden. And we wanted to share with you guys, we are so excited about our tower gardens that we wanted to share what it's like to have a tower garden, what it's all about, and why, believe it or not, the tower garden, I believe, makes one of the best gifts that you can give anybody this holiday season. I know that for me, I've given it to my mom as a gift a few years ago for Mother's Day, and it made a real impact on her. She's really become a tower gardener, growing her own produce, and that was before COVID happened and there was food scarcity and all that. So she was very thankful she had it at that point, and even now she just prefers that so much more. My name's Doug, and my wife Sharon is also on here. She's going to be speaking a little bit. And the thing about the tower garden is that it really is a way to be healthier. It's an easier way to grow, and I think it's a smarter way to grow because, well, we're going to share with you why. But you know what? That's getting a little bit ahead of myself because none of this would be possible. None of this would be happening, and we'd be a lot less healthy. I think I might not even be alive if it wasn't for my amazing wife Sharon. Because she found out about an easy way for us to get healthier a long time ago. So I'm going to let her tell you a little bit about our health story. So Sharon, why don't you go ahead and unmute?
Thank you. We have some music. There we go. Well,
Is it
welcome
music?
everybody. Well, the Tower Garden, which I'm excited to show you in the background. I'll show you a little more whenever Doug says. That became part of our company, and it's the Juice Plus company. The Juice Plus company has been around for 30 years, and it's fruits and vegetables in a capsule, and they take vine ripened raw fruits and vegetables, they pulverize it, take out the salt, the sugar, and the water, and they put it into capsule form, and it's safe for diabetics, safe for hypoglycemics, very good for everyone. And so we've, been using Juice Plus for 23 years ourselves. And the Tower Garden came like 11 years ago. And the important thing is that we need to eat so many fruits and vegetables. We need to eat 7 if we're children, which I don't think any of us are, 9 to 13 actually, if we are adults. So every single day we're supposed to have that many servings. So that's why Juice Plus was such an awesome answer. And even though I know that that's how many we're supposed to eat, it's really hard. So Juice Plus bridges that gap. In the meantime, though, we do still want everybody to eat fruits and vegetables. And a lot of people are very aware of what's happening with our food. So there's genetic modification where they add like extra things to our food. There's irradiation. There's just all kinds of things picked early, all kinds of problems with our produce, where it's nice to have herbicide, pesticide free. And so that's why our company embraced the Tower Garden, because we were talking about eating healthy. We want to eat as many plants as we can every single day. So it kind of reminds us of, eating a lot of plants. So we put it into salads or into smoothies, things like that. So anyway, we've got Juice Plus capsules or chewable form. We also have an awesome shake that I use for breakfast every day. And then we have some bars, yes, that I use, especially on the run. I keep those in my purse. And the chewables are awesome. People love those, whether they're adults or children. We actually have free for children by an adult order of either the fruits and vegetables alone or fruits, vegetables, berries, which is what I mostly recommend. And you get a child's fruits and vegetables free, either capsules or chewables. And we also have a plant-based omega. So, we don't have a huge product line, which is really nice. It's all one thing. Eat more plants. Okay. So with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Dougie to tell you about our superstar, the Tower Garden.
All right, well, this is the star of the show tonight. These are tower gardens that you see on your screen. And the one on the left is called the Tower Garden Flex. And we actually own 4 Tower Garden Flexes. I have 2 of them running right now. We run those outside in the backyard. We actually got them 11 years ago. And they've been outside in the Florida sun nonstop. They've only come inside two times, and that was during a hurricane each time. And they've held up just wonderfully. You're going to see some pictures of those as we go through. The tower garden on the right is called the Tower Garden Home, and that's designed for more of an indoor usage. Now, you can use the Tower Garden Flex indoors as well. It's got a little bit bigger base. It's a little sturdier. Excuse me. So when we put these in, like in schools, we always recommend the Flex. If you're doing it outside, or you want to do a combination, like part of the year in, part of the year out, we recommend the Tower Garden Flex. You do have the options to get wheels, and you can even get lights and they just pop right on the top of the Tower Garden. But that Tower Garden on the right, that's the Tower Garden Home, and it has a smaller reservoir. That's the one that's actually behind Sharon, and I'm gonna let her give you a little tour of what's going on with that. Let me put you on a feature here, Sharon, and you're muted.
Okay, great. All right, so this is the Tower Garden Home. And on here, we have little ports. I don't know if you can see these. Yes.
Yeah.
Where you can have, oh gosh, why can't I?
Microgreens.
Microgreens. And microgreens are actually super healthy. They're like 30 times healthier. So if you eat the plant while it's really, really small, there's more nutrition. So there's, I don't know how many of those up here. Doug might know, 16 maybe?
I think so.
And
16.
then, or maybe there's more, I don't know.
There
But
are
anyway,
16.
Then we've got all the different lettuces. Feel that, I know you can feel that with me. Those are like so sturdy and awesome. And I'm sure you've seen something like this at Epcot, because that's where it was founded, really. And so there's yummy, yummy herbs that smell so good. It's unbelievable. The best lettuce, like if you like to have really good lettuce, like if you go to a restaurant and you want gourmet lettuce, this is it, man. I smell whatever I just touched. I think it's rosemary. This is arugula. If you love arugula, this is like one of the spiciest, yummiest arugulas. We have kale back here. I don't know if you can see that. And then this comes with the lights, okay? So it looks like a little spaceship kind of, but it's really pretty. And we've got it decorated for the holidays, just a little bit for you guys actually. And basically it's 13 gallons of water down here, down in the bottom. And it has a pump down there, and you also put the nutrients, and see how it already has the rollers. There's Hurley. Hurley says hi. Star of the show. And so the water pumps up from here to the very top, and there's a shower cap up here that then trickles and waters the plants. I love to take out a plant and show you. Let me see if I can do it with this one, where you could see the roots. Isn't that cool? And that's no dirt. It's in something called rock wool, and it just grows. It's
amazing.
The most amazing thing. Like you have to plug it in, but that's no big deal. And the worst part of growing anything is remembering to water it. So it takes care of that. I'm so thankful.
Absolutely. And so we have some reasons why we're going to make a case for the awesomeness of the Tower Garden and why everybody should have one as a gift. You should be giving this thing. First of all, it's going to be the harvest. You know, you see what's going on in our Tower Garden there. That's not even my main Tower Garden. I literally borrowed that from somebody and put some of my plants in it. Actually, some of those plants came from Jules at her house. But to be honest, I started the seedlings and gave them to Jules. Then I borrowed it back. But that's not even the main one. But when you start harvesting, there's just so much. You know, it grows fast. It grows faster than normal. It yields more than normal. And as you see here, this young lady is harvesting off of her Tower Garden. Notice how she has some tomatoes, but she has some lettuce in there. Now, the cool thing about the Tower Garden, you have those beautiful big heads of lettuce, but it's not like the grocery store where you just get a head of lettuce and, you know, they had cut it off, you know, they'd harvested it, and now you take it home with you. With the Tower Garden, you just pull off the leaves from the back that you want to use. And then the plant keeps growing. So each lettuce head really keeps on going for like 2 months. I let them keep going until they grow so far that they do what's called bolting, and they start to grow kind of fast and they get like a little flower at the top. That's when I kind of let them go and I say, all right, I guess its life cycle is done. But it grows it grows faster. It has a better yield. Here's an example of a Bib lettuce when it gets full size. Look how big that thing is. Look at that zucchini, not a zucchini, eggplant. I mean, it's unbelievable. They grow really well, and believe it or not, that grows faster. I'm growing some collard greens on my tower gardens outside right now, and I'm not going to lie, they're out of control. We have got collard greens in the refrigerator. We got collard greens in the back porch. I got to start giving them away because they're taking over my life, as you can see here. And these aren't just your average everyday collard greens. These are the mother of all collard greens. And the cool thing about growing that big giant collard green is, of course, you can cut them up and you don't have to cook them with bacon fat and all that stuff. I saute in vegetable broth, believe it or not. Garlic and red pepper, and then I just put the greens in there, and then you put some lemon juice over it and some salt and pepper. Woo! It is good. But you can also use those things as like a lettuce wrap, because they're a little heartier than lettuce. You can actually do like a taco wrap or a little burrito if you want to be super duper healthy. Okay, so this is all just a way to help people get healthier. Here's another reason why we love our tower gardens is the convenience of it. Okay, now I'm not gonna lie, this is a pretty good looking raised bed garden. This is not my garden. Sharon knows I used to try to grow in the ground and I was not that successful. Anybody that grows knows that that's a lot of work to make that happen. It's also not cheap. You got the wood, you got to build it. It takes up like a 8 feet by 12 feet or 8 by 10 in your backyard. And that bed right there is only going to produce about the same amount of food as you would get on a tower garden, especially a tower with an extension. But the problem is you got dirt. Okay, let me just say that again. There's no dirt in the tower garden, so it's so much easier to work with it. It's nice and clean. It's watering itself and recycling the water. One of my problems was when you're growing in the ground like that is you got to water the stuff every day. And if you forget about it, you're putting stress on the plants. When you have a plant that's stressed, it's more prone to disease, to insects, and all that kind of stuff. So the tower garden has no digging, no weeding. It definitely will cut down on your grocery bills because you have this amazing produce that you're just pulling right off your tower garden in your backyard or right inside your house. So they did a study with this where they were buying organic produce, and then they had a tower garden growing the same amount that they were buying, or they would buy the same amount they were growing. And it turned out that the tower garden was paying for itself in 6 to 12 months. Depends what you grow and how well you're growing it and how well you're caring for it. But it's going to pay for itself. So it's super convenient. So that's pretty cool. Here's another cool thing. Well, it's not that cool. When you start to think about the fact that, here's some fruit, and look how they stack these things up and up and up. And they put those on trucks. They put them on container ships. They pick them in other countries, for goodness sake, and then they ship them. So what do you think the lettuce that you get, even if it's organic, it was picked a couple weeks ago, probably in California, and it lived on a truck for like all the time it took to transport it and and you don't know who picked it, how clean it was, where the workers are going to the bathroom. There's so many things. Also, when you pick lettuce, it immediately, any vegetable, you start to lose the nutrient quality of it. So if we want to make a salad after this Zoom, Sharon and I, we can just go pick right off the tower gardens. We're not losing any nutrients. But if you go buy some really expensive gourmet organic lettuce at Whole Foods, that's already 2 weeks old. It already started losing it. So you can really taste the difference too when you're eating it. It's really tremendous. Here's reason number 3 we love the tower garden. What about education? Okay, if you know any homeschool families, if you know any educators, if your kids are in school, look at this picture. Imagine a classroom where you're learning science by actually growing food. And guess what happens? The kids don't just learn science, they learn about nutrition. They learn about, the benefit, and they start to to want to eat better food, because when you grow it, you want to eat it. That's just the way it is, so it gives them healthy habits. We have educational resources available and lesson plans that were developed professionally, really good stuff, very extensive, from pre-K through 12th grade. And it's pretty amazing. So schools, community centers, retirement centers, churches, even up here in Jacksonville at the MD Anderson Cancer Center, they have a Tower Garden area. And I know that the patients go to that and they can be around Tower Gardens. They can eat off the Tower Gardens. It's pretty amazing. I'm even hoping to get it over at the Synergy Lifestyle Center, where they do the Dean Ornish cardiac rehab in Jacksonville. They're taking a look at it as well. So it's pretty exciting. Let's go with another reason: sustainability. To be honest with you, I've been a little slow to hop on the bandwagon with sustainability, but you can't argue the what's going on, especially with the water supply. When you look at the Colorado River, the water out there in that river supplies water to California and I think 3 or 4 states, maybe even more. But California is growing about 70 to 80% of our lettuce. So what is going to happen if we don't have that lettuce? It's going to be a real serious problem. And that's just one small, example. When it comes to sustainability, the Tower Garden is using a minimal water because it's recycling the water over and over. So once it drips down to the bottom, it just goes back up to the top. So the water goes down eventually because the plants are soaking it up. And it depends what you're growing. If you're growing a watermelon, that thing's going to suck up the water. But typically, it really lasts a long time before you even have to refill it. I mean, I'm talking weeks at a time. A smaller CO2 footprint. So think about it. If we're not shipping our food on trucks and on ships and all over the place and on trains, we're going to definitely see a movement towards people growing. We already are. Gardening's becoming more and more popular, and this just makes sense as a way to garden sustainable and efficiently and whatnot. Also, of course, there's less of a need, as I said earlier, for pesticides and herbicides because you're growing these healthy plants that are strong and growing quickly, and they're not touching dirt. So there's less of a need for all that kind of stuff. So what can you grow in the Tower Garden? Here's some examples of common things. And this isn't the only thing you can grow in there. Basically, you can grow anything that isn't a tree or a root. Okay, so you can't grow onions and you can't grow coconuts. But most things that you can think of, you're going to grow. And this is not a full list. You can also grow flowers. There's edible flowers I grow sometimes. They look really great, but also it's really cool. It's so gourmet when you have that lettuce that Sharon was just showing us. And then you put on top of that maybe some microgreens and then some edible flowers. I mean, that's a salad you're paying $20-$30 for in a high-end restaurant. It's pretty amazing. So let's take a look at how this actually works. I'm going to show you a quick 4-minute video that's going to show you some people that are loving their Tower Gardens, and it's going to give you a little inside look at how the Tower Garden works.
My tower gardens are amazing. The Aeroponic gardening system I absolutely love. I have this one that's complete of tomatoes, beefsteak and cherry tomatoes and basil. Then the other one's just a mixture of like chard and broccoli and all my favorite different fruits and vegetables I have. And now my third one is gonna have different herbs, so like lavender and thyme and sage.
And I would spend probably about $50 a week on organic fruits and vegetables, and now I don't have to do that.
I also juice every day, so I get all my kale and all my chard from there and anything else I'm going to put in there. So I love that thing.
Because it tastes good. It really does. And I have no green thumb. I can't grow anything, and I've been able to get things to grow. The best tomato I had last summer was from my tower garden.
This is my first time ever seeing celery grow from start, and we have huge stocks of celery. My wife's a big strawberry fan, so we've done strawberries.
All winter long, we've been able to grow fresh produce in our living room. It makes a nice centerpiece and talking piece. move the coffee table out, move the tower garden in. And it's been really fun for my family and my kids.
It becomes such an amazing experience for them because they get to go and they get to pick it themselves.
I tell them, you can just walk right up to it and eat from it, and they love that.
We have salad party day, we harvest our tower garden, and the kids are having their salad party and coming back and asking for more. Salad, please. You're doing the right thing.
And the joy of feeding our family, where we literally grow outside the kitchen door, harvest from tower to salad bowl to table, it's just been a wonderful addition to our diet.
And he does most of it now. And I was the one that gardened in the soil for many years. He's now our tower garden farmer.
And clearly, if I grow a tower garden, it's inevitable that anybody can grow a tower garden.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and stop that there because Sharon already kind of showed how it works. The water, it's so simple. It's genius in how simple it is because the water gets pumped up to the top, it trickles down over the roots, there's nutrients in there, and it just works. I love watching the video though because it really gives you vision for how it works and maybe how you could use it in your situation. Because as we're going to see right now, you have a lot of options. There's a lot of different ways that tower gardens are being used. For instance, right here, here's a simple tower garden in a kitchen, a tower garden home inside a kitchen. Here's a tower garden flex. Maybe this should be called the Leaning Tower of Pisa. She's got so much tomatoes on that right side that thing's leaning over a little bit. But you don't have to keep it all nice and neat and like that. When sometimes they just starts growing and you know what? You don't want to stop it from growing because you're getting all these tomatoes from it. So it's pretty cool. Look at that Swiss chard up top. I mean, that stuff grows like a weed, man. It's just amazing. Here's an example, another one in a house. And I love this picture because, you see the picture with the young girl there. And that's exactly what happens. I remember when our daughter was really young, you're going to see a picture of her later in this slideshow. And she would just go up to it and grab a piece of kale. I mean, how many 3-year-olds are eating kale raw? It's not very common. Here's an example. You can take them on the road with you. This RV family grows their produce and they just pack up the tower when they go to a new place and they take it with them. We talked about education a little bit. This is a guy named Stephen Ritz, the guy with the cheese hat back there. He is quite a guy. He teaches in Brooklyn in the most impoverished area, and it's a food desert, and it's a rough situation. But you know what they've done? They've started growing food all over the place in the Bronx, and they're using tower gardens to do it. He has an organization called the Green Bronx Machine. They've spread this around the world, literally. He travels all around the world teaching educators about this. And there's a Netflix documentary that's about to be released, and you're going to be able to watch Stephen Ritz on that. Boys and Girls Clubs, another great place for the tower gardens. This is Sandy on our business team, and we were at this meeting. We went to this meeting, Sharon and I did. And we've put tower gardens in at least 20 Boys and Girls Clubs in the South Florida area, plus elementary school, middle schools, high schools, private schools, public schools, you name it. Here, this is the late Kobe Bryant's homeless shelter in LA, and Bill Clinton was touring it, and they grow food on the roof for the homeless people. So look at that beautiful lettuce they're growing there. And if you have any kids or nephews or nieces that play video games, it's probably the most popular video game in the world. It's called Call of Duty Modern Warfare. And they actually have tower gardens inside of the video game. It's pretty wild. Oh, it's fun to put that in there. Jessica Alba, the actress, also the owner of Honest brand. She makes lots of healthy products. She loves her tower gardens, and this was off of her Instagram. She was just getting zen with her towers one day. And check this out. This is at the San Francisco Giants baseball stadium. They have some tower gardens in their food area, also some raised beds too. But guess what? We also have just put in a tower farm inside of Yankee Stadium in New York City. So that's pretty cool. I have not seen that one yet. I'm looking forward to that. Speaking of New York, this is a cafe in New York City in Manhattan where they're growing the produce for their restaurant on the roof. I'm not sure what they do during the winter, but I'm sure they got a plan, and I'm sure they wish it didn't get cold, or maybe they wish they had an indoor space to grow it in the winter. But look at these chefs. They look pretty happy with all that beautiful produce they're growing. So tower gardens also have there's a commercial version of it that's used for farming. This is in Tulsa, Oklahoma, a large indoor greenhouse where they're growing lots and lots of produce. We've just put in a tower farm in Dubai they're growing food in the middle of the desert, and it's huge. I think there's 1,000 tower gardens going into this farm. So it's pretty wild what you can do. I mean, that's the future. How else are they going to grow lettuce and strawberries and things like that in Dubai? They usually can't. They would have to ship it in from Europe or somewhere. But now they can just have a tower garden farm. All right. CSI, Los Angeles, Tower Garden cameo, woo woo. And even the Grinch loves the Tower Garden, okay? And it's because it's awesome, and he wants you to give it to somebody for Christmas. So you have a choice to make. We have the Tower Garden Home, and we have the Tower Garden Flex. You know, they both have their advantages. And, you know, the person that invited you to come on to this can help walk you through. Maybe if you have any more specific questions that you want to ask about it, you can put it in the chat right now, and we can get to those in just a second. And the cool thing is our company, people ask, well, how much is this? How much is it? Well, Tower Garden Flex is $670. And the cool thing about our company is, of course, you can pay for it in full and just buy a Tower Garden Flex, or our company will give you 12 monthly payments of $55.83. Okay, that's no interest. It's not like layaway where you have to pay it off, then they send you the tower. When you buy your tower, they're going to send it to you, and then you make those payments for 12 months. The Tower Garden Home costs a little more because it has the lighting kit on it that's perfectly designed. And remember how nice and beautiful. Look at those lights. They just fit right in, you know, aesthetically. You don't want to have some ugly thing in your house that you have to hide, you know. So what they do is they make it where it's actually beautiful and it just looks good. We have some other bundles available. You can get the Serious Gardener bundle where you have a Tower Garden Flex with a tomato cage and wheels and some extra accessories. Or some people know that they want to really get serious about growing a lot of food. Maybe they have a larger family, or maybe they have vision for growing more and helping out in the community. I don't know. But you can also get a 3-tower bundle with the family garden. If you had a situation where you wanted to grow even more, because some people do. I know a guy that has 30 towers in his garage, 30 of them, but he's also selling, and he's making about $5,000 or $6,000 a month selling to small cafes and stuff like that in St. Louis year round. Remember I told you about my daughter? Well, here she is, the little blonde girl there. There she is with our tower garden. This was 11 years ago. And it was kind of new back then. It was a brand new tower garden, and she was eating the kale off of it and all that good stuff. But guess what? That same tower garden is outside of my back patio right now. It's probably the tower garden that I grew the giant piece of collard greens in. So the cool thing is, yeah, you might have to spend some money to get the tower garden, but after those 12 monthly payments, look at us. It's almost 12 years later, and we're still growing food off the tower garden. So that makes it actually a really, really good deal, because in that $55 a month, you can easily grow $55 a month worth of produce on it. So that means it's really a budget neutral piece of technology or a way to grow that is you're gonna spend money on the tower instead of spending money on that lettuce in the store, which you should be eating lots of greens and tomatoes and all that good stuff. It's the healthiest thing you can do for yourself. So it just makes sense. And in closing, I just want to share with you guys that the tower gardens are contagious. I'm actually going to bring Sharon back on for this part. She's so good. I feel like I talked the whole time, you know?
That's okay. Yeah, I love that part. Keep that. Oh, you can't keep that up.
Yeah, I can.
Oh, can you?
Well, we can do this.
We've just seen it over and over that people love the tower garden. Like, I mean, it's mesmerizing. It's state of the art. It's innovative. It's the wave of the future. It's how it's easier to grow. You know, you're growing up instead of taking up a bunch of land. You're not wasting water. There's just so many good things. And every time that you cut down, it grows back. So it's pretty amazing that, you know, if you went to Publix, I'll just say Publix because that's what's down here, and you got a little tiny container of basil, I don't know, it's like $2.99 or $3.99. On a tower garden, it grows, and then you cut it and it grows back, and you cut it and it grows back. And oh my goodness, once I got the tower garden with my basil, I just loved it so much for pesto all the time. But that's just an example. Anyway, people love the tower garden. And so what happens also, it becomes like your next baby, you know, just like having a dog that you post pictures of all the time, or you show your friends, or having a baby, you know, that you watch their growth. These are like new babies, and they bring a lot of joy every time you see them grow. Like, we saw some of these grow right behind us. It's like overnight, given the right conditions, which isn't hard. It's light, nutrients, and what else? Water. I mean, it's not difficult. And so, but it brings a lot of joy, and people love it. So then people tell other people, and you can be the person that helps to spread the word. You know, you can be the neighbor that tells the other neighbor, or the sister who tells the other sister. Thank you for the sisters being on tonight. And so the company also this month has, if somebody wanted to be a representative or partner with the company, which is what I did 23 years ago, and it was one of the best decisions ever, then you're in the system and you can sell tower gardens to anybody, and you get a discount back on your own. You get the sales profit, and you can start showcasing it to other people. And if they order, then you get that sales profit, and you just help take care of them, which it's not a lot, you know, once people learn how to grow, it's not hard. But anyway, the company's now giving some of those goodies from earlier that I showed you, where they're giving chocolate bars, tart cherry bars, and fruit, vegetable, and berry gummy packs. So almost all of our products. So they're really doing a lot right now to gift people. And I just think the tower garden is the gift that keeps giving, and so is the company. So I've loved it ever since.
Yeah. And you know, Sharon, becoming a partner with the company, not only can they sell tower gardens to people, but they can sell all the Juice Plus products too. So it's pretty cool. For only $52, you get to be part of a company that is an $800 million a year in sales company. We're in like 24 countries around the world, and you can do business in all those countries. It's pretty amazing. It's been great for us. Sharon was a school guidance counselor. I was a school and college administrator. But now we work from home, and this is what we do. We teach people how to get healthier through making simple changes, getting more nutrition into their body, whether it be through fruit and vegetable powders or through growing their own produce. So it's pretty exciting, and we love it, and we're really thankful that you guys could join us tonight.